Hello, everyone. So I wanted to come on and do a message from Archangel Michael. This is an extremely important message for what is going on right now. Hello. I haven't been live in a while for different reasons. However, I wanted to come live right now because I was in the middle of meditating and making some realizations, and Archangel Michael asked me to come live and to give a message. So this message is extremely important. If you feel that there is someone that needs to hear this message, feel free to tag them in the comments. This message needs to be heard. It needs to be heard throughout the whole internet, okay? Because this message is extremely important to what we are living right now in this life. Right now, we're going through so many things as a collective. We're going through, I'm not going to say the whole name so I don't get blocked by Instagram, CV-19, right? We're going through these, the riots and the political arguments, and through this mass realization of pedophile rings within Hollywood, within the government, within multiple governments, okay? But I want you to understand something, that these things are part of a much bigger agenda. These things are part of a bigger agenda that has everything to do. If you still are in the belief that the devil does not exist, get off this live. If you're still in the belief that archangels and extraterrestrial species do not exist, get off this live. These things exist. These things are here for a reason. And these things are actually here because we as a collective chose for it to happen. As a collective, we are completing right now a soul contract. We are currently completing a soul contract which we have owed, okay? We have owed this soul contract due to our ancestors' behaviors, due to millennia, due to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of suffering that we have imposed on one another. And this is a soul contract that we are in the process of completing. Right now, what is happening, everything that is happening, is not just a major awakening. I want you to know that everything that is happening is a karmic balancing of humanity as an entire species, okay? It is a karmic balancing because of the suffering that humanity has imposed on each other, okay? The point of this was to get you to come together, but you are failing because instead of coming together, you are coming apart at the seams. You are falling and you are breaking apart at the seams because this is a planet-wide karmic contract. And yes, my fire detector decided to start beeping again. Instead of coming together to complete this contract, we are separating ourselves with labels, with riots, with violence, with anger, with resentment. We have so much unhealed stuff from the past. We have all this anger, all this resentment that is coming down our bloodlines from our ancestors that are unhealed in the spirit realm. And we are still propagating and repeating the same actions of our ancestors that are causing us to continue in this karmic soul contract that is going to continue to divide us unless we choose consciously as a human race to come together. Okay? If we are shaming one another, if we are bullying one another, if we are coming apart because our egos are too big to put down our individual agendas and look at one another as what we are, which is brother and sister, the devil will win. If we continue policing one another and trying to tell each other how to live our lives and how to walk our paths, the devil will win. Whether you believe in the devil or not, the devil is real. There is a reason why the elites and the government worship the devil and they make sacrifices to the devil. And it's because they know that he is real and that he gives power, but in exchange for power, he wants souls. So they are selling your souls. They are selling our souls to the devil. Okay? And spirit, all of our spirits that are elevated are doing their darn hardest, are working their hardest to help us elevate. They have held themselves back from their own elevation to assist us in our own elevation and to assist in our soul contract fulfillment. What is happening right now, do not be fooled, is a karmic contract completion. Okay? One of the biggest tricks of the government, which is why fortune tellers are banned in many states, especially in this country, why shamans are banned in many, many countries, why so many spiritual healers are banned throughout the world, is because spiritual healers, light workers, are aware of one fact. They are aware that their god of darkness exists, and they do not want you to understand that your God of light is able to save you from this. It doesn't matter what you call your God. Okay? It doesn't matter what name you give your God. It does not matter if you call him Papa Bondie or you call him Goddess or whatever it is. It does not matter. This is not about the Christian God. This is not about the Wiccan God or the pagan gods. This is about source, the source of light and dark, the source of light and darkness, because source created both. And we are in an eternal battle between light and darkness. And the more that we tip the scales towards darkness, the less light that we will have. The more that we continue fighting and coming apart at the seams, the more that we continue bullying one another over masks or whatever else we want to bully one another over, the more that we will come apart and we will not complete our soul contract and we will not see the elevation of our species. We are the reason why extraterrestrial species are even here trying to assist us is because humanity is holding them back. Humanity as a whole is holding back the elevation of an entire universe, because our elevation is tied to the elevation of other species in the universe, and every single species is waiting for us to elevate in order for them to elevate. Okay? The lower vibrational entities, not just in this world, but in other worlds and other parts of the universe, want us to stay low vibrational. Because while we stay low vibrational, these dark entities, these low vibrational energies are able to live in pleasure. To them, pleasure, I'm not saying sex is bad, and I'm not saying pleasure is bad, but being a prisoner to pleasure makes us unable to elevate to a spiritual being of light. Okay? As we continue to tear each other apart, as we continue to argue, as we continue to allow external forces to bring us apart, we will continue living in darkness. We will continue living in an eternal night. And this is only the beginning. What we are experiencing right now, what we have experienced, I have been starting to talk about this since February. Remember back in February, before we even knew about CV-19, Archangel Raphael said to you, get out of the cities and eat fruits and vegetables. Meditate. Spread love. Though that was the message back in February, early February of 2020. Starting in March, we started to experience CV-19 and the effects of that on our daily lives. Okay? The light was starting to win. So the darkness needed to launch something that would cause us to fight, that would cause us to come apart. Okay, so you need to understand this. I don't have any reason to give you this message other than wanting us to elevate as a species and wanting to do the work of the archangels. The archangels have fought so hard alongside our spirit guides to help us elevate as a species. And as humans, we are choosing to stay asleep by falling into these divisive tactics, by falling into these divisive names, labels, whatever it is that you want to call it. The ego wants you to label yourself because it wants to be part of something. But you are already part of something. You are already part of something greater than yourself. The ego tricks you into thinking that in order to be part of the universe, you must label yourself. But it is a lie. You are part of something greater than you realize. We are all interconnected. Every single soul in this plane is interconnected. Every single soul in this plane is interconnected. Yes, that means that we are connected to the evil people in the world as much as we are connected to the good people in the world. So we must push with our intent, with our love, with our empathy, with our understanding, with our overstanding. We must push for love to spread, for unity to spread. And love needs to look different than bullying and pressure. Love, true love, is about seeking to understand the other person's fears and the other person's beliefs. Seeking to understand why another person feels or acts the way that they behave. Okay? Love is not about just speaking the word, just being kind one time. No, it is about changing your core beliefs and relearning to do better, to be better. A few days ago, I posted about us all needing to get our spirit right. The death of someone that I love has taught me that material things mean nothing. You don't take material things with you. We only take our souls. We only take our souls. And if your spirit is not right, if you cannot say to me that you can die today, God forbid, and you will be judged a good person, then therefore that means there are things you need to work on to get your spirit right. And I say this to you not to shame you, not to judge you, not to divide. I say this because I have now witnessed that yes, we do get judged, and we do not get judged based on the God we believe in or the religious theory we believe in or the religious path that we believe in. We do not get judged in those things. We get judged on our heart. Is our heart more good than it is evil? And if it is more evil than it is good, then it's going to be reincarnated back on earth again to learn this lesson over and over and over and over again, to continue eternal suffering forever. So, in order for us to elevate, we need to get our spirit right. And that starts by looking within ourselves first before we look to judge others, and looking within ourselves and asking ourselves the question of, what do I need to change to become the person that I want to be when I face God, whatever God that is? Who do you want to be when you face God? Who do you want to be when your heart is measured and weighed? Who do you want to be? And don't think that this person that you need to wait till tomorrow to start being this person. Okay? Earth is a playground. Think of it, if you've ever seen the movie Hunger Games, think of it as a place where we must learn and overcome these lessons. And if we do not learn and overcome these lessons and overcome these soul contracts, we just come back here over and over and over and over and over again. And remember that you can experience heaven on earth if you get your spirit right early enough before you transcend into the other world. You will see the benefits of getting your spirit right here on earth. We must detach from our labels. We must detach ourselves from the labels that divide us and realize that we are one human race. And this has nothing to do with politics. This has nothing to do with religions or whatever else is being used right now to divide us. Okay? We are here for one purpose and one purpose alone, and it is to get our spirit right, to learn our lessons, and to ascend. That is it. We are here to ascend. There is only up from here, but do you want to stay where you are or possibly get dragged down to a lower vibration? Or do you want to elevate? That is the whole point of earth. It has nothing to do with what you believe in, what religion you follow. You do not have to follow anyone else's religion. You follow the religion, or you follow the belief or the practice that you feel called to follow, as long as that practice shows you how to be kind, how to be loving, how to have faith, and how to elevate your spirit. Because that is the purpose of this realm, is to elevate. We are God experiencing itself as a human being, trying to get back up the ladder of ascension. But right now, it's not even about the individual anymore. Right now, it's about a collective elevation. We are going through a collective elevation because right now we are shifting from a kingdom of darkness to a kingdom of light. But in order for us to shift, we are rebirthing ourselves as an entire collective. Okay? So we have to be responsible in the way that we live this experience. Our bodies are just shells. We reincarnate in different bodies, in different experiences. So your body in this lifetime doesn't really matter. What you look like, what you sound like, how you do your hair, it doesn't matter. This is an external thing. This will not live on. Trust me, I just buried my grandfather's body and it started to disintegrate within 5 days. Trust me, it is just a shell, but his spirit continues to live on. And from the other side, he is begging me to share with you that you need to worry not about your physical experience, but about your spirit. You need to worry about what is the state of your spirit. What is the state of your spirit? Because when you die, you will not be judged based on what you believe in or what God you followed or what church you went to every week or every year. You will be judged on how good of a person you are. Did you help in the process of spiritual elevation, or did you hold humanity back? Trust me. That is what you will be judged on. It will not be on whether you believed in Christ or Allah, or whether you believed in Aphrodite, or whatever being you believed in, whatever being you called God. It does not matter what you called God. As long as you understand that there is a higher source, that's all that matters. Whatever path you take there is up to you, but what you will be judged on is how good you were and how many lessons you learned. That is it. Trust me. That is it. Our skin tone, our religious beliefs, all these attachments that we have to things, they do not matter. They don't get to go with us to the other side. They don't get to elevate or to reincarnate with us. What matters is what is the state of your soul, what is the state of your spirit, because that is what your spirit guides are concerned with. This does not mean that you can't experience earthly pleasures in this life, but do not attach yourself so much to these earthly pleasures that it is what you define yourself by. Because when you define yourself by these attachments will completely make sure that you do not elevate. Because it is great to experience the pleasures in life, as long as they do not control you, as long as you are the master and not the servant to these pleasures. Remember that. And above all, get your spirit right, because trust me, I was blessed enough to witness my grandfather's judgment. He wanted me to see it, and his spirit guides allowed me to see his judgment day. And I promise you, what God was worried about was not, did you pray to one name over another? No, what God was asking my grandfather was whether he did good on this plane. And what did he learn out of this existence? It is your your spirit. What is your spirit doing? And understanding that there are forces within us and forces outside of us that influence the enlightenment and the elevation or the devolution, get that? Like the devolution of our spirit, the de-evolution. So that is what's most important right now. And understanding that we are going through a karmic contract. We are going through a karmic contract right now. So we must pay attention that we must not fall into these games. Because there was something that I saw somewhere that said, when God is winning, the devil fights harder. So now we need to fight harder to get this earth to where it needs to be, to get each other to where it needs to be. But it will not happen through the division. It will not happen through arguments. It will not happen through bullying one another. It will not happen through all of these earthly attachments. It will only happen through love and through your empathy for one another. Everything in the universe responds to the law of karma. Right now, we are having to balance, and we are in the process of rebirthing. We are going through an initiation as a collective. And we are failing if we are not giving up these divisions. If we are not giving up these meaningless attachments. And if we are giving into fear and division and anger and bullying and violence, we are not evolving. It does not benefit me one bit whether you guys elevate or not. I already have my karma that I have completed as far as I'm supposed to. And there are more karmas that I have to complete for the rest of my life. I am here simply as someone to light the candle under your butt, to push you, to try to wake you up that what matters right now is the state of our spirits as individuals and as a collective. Okay? If you pay attention to your life and how things have shown themselves in your life, you will be able to know what the karmas in your life are. Whether these karmas were pushed upon you or whether these karmas were karmas that you agreed to before you were born. Because karma is both good and evil. Karma is based on how you behave. It's based on how you behave not just in this lifetime, but in previous lifetimes. So let's say in previous lifetimes you were constantly cheating on your significant other. Well, in this lifetime, your karma may be that you now have to experience them cheating on you over and over and over again until you say, wow, okay, soul contract for that particular thing completed. I understand now and take responsibility that maybe there was something that you did that there is a karma happening for. And this has nothing to do with fear-mongering you or telling you how to live your life. This is about become awakened and enlightened to the fact that you may have some responsibility, not just from this lifetime, but from previous lifetimes, and that we have a responsibility now in this lifetime to pay attention and to change our behavior so that we do not have to repeat this over and over again. So remember, if there is a label that you need to grab onto so hard in order to identify yourself that you can't live without that label, there is something there that you need to resolve. And there will be other healers that tell you that duality is important and that we must have good and evil to be balanced, and that, that labels are important. I'm here to tell you that's all bullshit. That's all bullshit. Because that may be the understanding that they're on. But the understanding and the overstanding and the enlightenment that I have received is that what matters is how good you have been. I'm not saying you have to be perfect. I'm not saying that you have to, be the Dalai Lama or be the most perfect person in the world. No, I'm talking about how much love did you experience in this lifetime? How much kindness did you show to others in this lifetime? How much kindness did you show to yourself as well in this lifetime? How much did you see unity, or did you see separation? Because you're not here to be perfect. You're here to elevate and to have and to find the wisdom that is going to help you elevate. Perfection doesn't reach wisdom. Evaluating your life and looking at your life and saying, how can I grow in wisdom? How can I grow in love? How can I grow in unity? How can I grow in these unifying factors is how we come together, is how we elevate as a species. We all incarnate as a soul family. As a soul family, and we are responsible for one another. We are not responsible for fixing one another. We are not responsible for changing one another. No, we are responsible for showing love to one another and just showing support in whatever step of the way that person may be in. We are not responsible for changing that person. We're not responsible for changing others, but we are responsible for our own energy and the energy we put in the world. We are responsible for the energy and for the things that we put in the world, because the things we put in the world, they multiply and they do have an effect. And as small as you may think you are, your behavior, your words, your actions, they matter. And they will have ripple effects, okay? Imagine when you throw a little pebble in a lake, okay? And that little pebble may seem so small, but you start seeing the waves that it creates. And as it moves out, bigger and bigger and bigger waves and bigger ripples will happen. So every energy you put out there, I am not trying to scare you. I am reminding you to be responsible for the energy that you put out there. Because what you put out there creates a ripple effect bigger than you can imagine. And it all ties back to the fact that we are all fulfilling a karmic contract right now. You may think one thing today and may not see it come for another year from now. But remember that even though we have years and months and days, we are all living in a timeless reality. There is no time. There is no concept of time. This concept of time is completely man-made. There is no more time than the present moment. So if you're not taking advantage of the present moment, and before you go to bed, say, okay, I did the best I could at being the best that I could be, and give gratitude, then you do not have a promise of tomorrow at all. We don't have, tomorrow's not promised. Don't leave things unsaid. Don't leave things that are meaningful unsaid, because they are not. There isn't always more time. We always think there's gonna be time, and there isn't. The time is now. The time is in this present moment to do what you need to do to get your spirit right. If there's something that you've done, ask God for forgiveness. God will give it to you. I promise you, as long as you're truly sorry in your heart, God will forgive you for whatever it is that you have done wrong, that you want to repair in yourself, and make an effort to repair those things. But do not fall into fear. Do not fall into anger. Do not fall into division. Do not fall into guilt either. Because when you fall into guilt, you are just falling into the same loop over and over and over again. The whole purpose of elevation is to find the wisdom to take responsibility for the things that you might have done wrong, learn your lesson, and move on. It is not to dwell in the guilt or in the fear that you're going to be punished for something. It is to learn the lesson, to acknowledge that lesson, and to move forward and to do better. That is the whole point. And right now, we need to come together more than ever before. More than ever before. We need to put our differences aside and come together. We must put our differences aside, because when I say to you that the fate of humanity is at stake, I'm not joking. I am not joking with you. I am not saying that to scare you. I am not saying that, I have felt this before, and I brought this up to someone, and they said, oh, the earth will be fine. Humanity will be fine. No. Trust me. This is one of our major tests. The earth will live on without us. But we, our spirits, our souls, we need to come together in order for us to learn and find the wisdom to elevate as a collective, to fulfill our soul contract of this karmic contract that we are experiencing in this moment, and to move forward. Okay? That is the message from Archangel Michael. That is what he's been waiting to say. And I hope that you realize that this is not about beating yourself up. This is not about finding someone to blame. This is about learning to take accountability and learning to grow as a human, as a spirit, so that we can all collectively elevate, so that everybody else in the universe can also elevate and do what they need to do. Think of how beautiful it would be that you individually have this power to make these ripples out in the world, to spread love, to spread kindness, to spread empathy, okay? Even if you don't necessarily agree with what someone else believes, we don't all have to think the same. We don't all have to believe the same things, but we do have to believe one thing. We are all connected, and we are all interconnected. We are all brother and sister, whether we realize it or not. We are all children of God. Every single one of us, no matter what religion, no matter what practice, no matter what gods we worship, no matter what where we live in the world, no matter what, we are all children of the gods. And we must remember that we are here for the purpose of elevating. Do good, be kind, show love for one another, show empathy, take the time to, that doesn't mean that you have to let people take advantage of you. Take the time to maybe, pay attention to if someone is not feeling well, or pay attention to the world around you. Care. Let's care again. Care about what's happening instead of saying, well, there's nothing I can do about it, so I'm just going to ignore it. No. Care, because you caring and you praying for the solution can go a long way. Be present. Get out of your phone for 5 minutes and be present with those around you. Let's reconnect. Let's remember what it is to be humans. Let's remember our power to ripple. Okay? All right. So let's not be scared. We need to fight darkness with light. That is how we win. We win by fighting darkness with light, by bringing light into the world, by bringing understanding into the world, by bringing empathy, by listening to one another, by being good people, and just doing the best that you can. And if you fail today, forgive yourself and try again tomorrow. Okay? All right. Many blessings to you all. And I hope that God fills your life with love and light and understanding and wisdom. And I pray that all those who are in pain are able to heal. And I pray that all those who are homeless are able to find shelter. And I pray that all those that are in need are able to find someone to lean upon. Okay? Light a fire. Pray, meditate, light your candles, burn your incense, whatever it is that you need to do to show God with your heart that you are filled with gratitude and that you want to help affect this ripple of change, of positive change. And be careful not to fall into these divisive news and politics and all these things, because what these things are doing, it's nothing that is going to help us as a collective to elevate. What it will do is help us de-evolve as a spirit and as a species. Okay? I thank you all for listening, and may the spirits and God bless you all. Many, many blessings.